Hi, I'm Niall.
I'm Harry. I'm Zane.
I'm Liam.
And I'm Jennifer.
We're very excited.
This is a family show. Or is it?
One Edition will be performing live coming up in our next half hour. Give it up to One Edition!
Niall the bad boy. Give it a rest. Niall the church boy, more like.
Excuse me, Liam. We're really funny.
Are we?
We are, aren't we? The laughs we have.
Between me and
we
you.
have some laughs.
Pranks, laughs.
They're just normal guys. They're terrible, terrible dancers.
Hi, I'm Gabby.
I'm Jenna.
And I'm Shalise. And you're listening to Music Makes Me Lose Control. All right. Hello, everybody. It is a special episode of Music Makes You Lose Control because it is International or National Drink Wine Day. So you get to see us get a little drunk. We are all of age, just so you know.
Drink responsibly.
And if you want to drink while you listen, go get your wine or anything. Vodka, tequila,
Margaritas.
rum, margaritas. Get some alcohol. Get something that'll make you feel a little nice. And drink with us because we are drinking our wine today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Music Makes Me Lose Control, a pod where we discuss insight into the music industry, debunk pop myths, and dive deep into happening music and artists. Today, the topic we have all been waiting for, and by we, I mean just us three, One Direction. But more specifically, did you see the title? The episode is about how the industry snubbed one of the most successful bands of all time. And we don't say that just because they were successful in our hearts. They were seriously bigger than the Beatles, just without the award or industry recognition. And we will dive deep into the reasons we suspect for this. But first, let's dive into what we're wearing today. What is our merch? And also, since it's a special episode, we're also going to be telling you what we're drinking.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
So my shirt's actually borrowed from Shalise because I didn't have any of my One Direction stuff with me here in college. It's all at home. So today I'm wearing from Shalise a Zane shirt. It's really comfy. It smelled really good. And I mean, it's a little dark for me personally.
Yeah, what album is this?
I don't know. I bought it. I think I'm going to say H&M, but I'm not sure.
But
and I got it really big so I could wear it as a pajama shirt. And then it shrunk. So
he looks really cute in it though. So anyways, that's my shirt. And today I'm drinking actually a margarita in a wine glass to fit in because I didn't feel like opening my white wine and I was more in the mood for a margarita. So I made my special margarita that only I really like.
All right, so I'll go next. Yes, as Gabby said, I let her borrow a shirt, and it would have been another One Direction shirt if I had it, but I literally only have one here at school as well. I wanted to go all out. I've got hats, shirts. I've got a bracelet that I got from Claire's that used to light up. I wanted to go crazy. But all I had was my One Direction shirt, which is fine, you know. This is from Midnight Memories. It's from the tour. I was at the East Rutherford show, and I don't know how to tell you the way that show and One Direction make me feel, but they make me feel alive. And this shirt makes me relive those days. And yeah, I love it. And I made sure I wore my red jacket because I'm pretty sure I wore this on one of the tour shows that I went to. So I'm like, let's bring it back. I'm feeling real one deep right now. And I'm drinking rosé. Listen, I'm not a wine person, so I don't know this brand, I don't know the bottle, but I'm drinking rosé. And it's good because I'm ready to get drunk and talk about One Direction.
All right,
Cheers.
so I'm heading into my merch piece, which is honestly one of the most underwhelming of the three of us today. So just look at this, right? Where is the name of the tour? So for anyone who doesn't know, this design is from the On the Road Again tour. They had a partnership with, was it Honda? I think. Hey.
Was it Hyundai?
It's hard to say at this point.
I don't remember that much.
I remember the videos, like watching them sell cars. I'm like, Jesus Christ, am I a sucker? Anyways, so this is the one, like, actually One Direction merch piece I have because I always thought that their merch was really ugly. Like, it's just kind of actually like shit. That's my whole closet. But I never liked the design of it. I always thought it was kind of like teeny bopper for me because I kind of came into the game late as well. I wasn't like a very early Directioner. So I'm at the second show of One Direction I've went to, and I'm like, I want to get something. Like, I'm gonna get something that's not a piece of clothing. So somebody sold me this for like $10. And I didn't look to see that it was printed right. Like, I was the sucker that bought this with the really shitty, like, print. Like, somebody cut this wrong because you can't even see the On the Road Again. You can only see the One Direction. I brought something that's not, like, a piece of clothing. It's the Who We Are book. And I got this because I was like, I don't know, did I want to be like quirky or something? Like, I don't own shirts. I don't own cardboard cutouts. I own their ghost written book because there's no way they I mean, it's not like really well written. It's like, it's possible that they're like sort of journal entries, but I mean, there's good stuff like this, you know? Like, the pictures are the best part.
The pictures are the best part.
Like, let me find another. Oh.
Stop.
Oh, Niall. But yeah, I mean, that's really the best part of this book. I can't. For what I'm drinking today, I'm having a Robert Mondavi from Napa Valley. It's a Cab Sauv 2017. I wanted to open this bottle especially for this occasion. It's a really good wine. It's good red wine.
It's 300 years old.
So,
$500.
All right. Sip. Let's talk about how we all got to know the British boy band One Direction. I have to know, I don't even know if I know your origin stories with the band, but I want to know, how do we all start to like them?
I can kind of be the person that's like, I knew this person from the beginning. And when it comes to One Direction, I don't care what anyone says, I was there. I was there. I was in Simon Cowell's ear saying, put them together. They belong together. But like actually audition, bringing them together, I watched it, like I was there from the legit beginning. And it's just like I was saying before in another episode about like listening to Ariana Grande with my sister. It was always stuff with my sister with like these TV shows and stuff. We would sit down and like watch them, and we found Fifth Harmony that way and stuff like that too. But with One Direction, literally from watching the show, from their audition. I was there. I was like, oh, kind of got a cute face. Ooh, they kind of can hold a note. Okay, that's all I need. That's all I need. And I was hooked from that moment on, from that until the last tour, until today. Let me stop. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that was like, I don't want to be like I was there from the beginning, but I was there from the beginning. So yeah.
I was there close to the beginning, but at that beginning. I remember What Makes You Beautiful came out, and they had come to tour, and they were going to like Fort Lauderdale, I think. And so there was this girl from my school who was like, oh my God, Gabby, I'm going to see One Direction. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I don't really care. And so then I don't know what happened. I like watched the music video and I saw Harry Styles and I was like, I love him. I love him. I do. Once that happened, I watched the music video and then I started listening to like other songs. And at this point, I didn't have Spotify or anything. I was listening to stuff on Pandora. And I remember putting on like the One Direction radio on Pandora, but there was a band called One Direction from the US. So like their music would come up and I was like, I don't want this One Direction. I want the UK One Direction. Like, stop it. And so I was listening to them and then I just remember like watching like the YouTube videos, like getting to know like One Direction, like fun facts about One Direction, being like, Harry Styles is from Cheshire, it's from Holmes Chapel. And I was like, okay, tell me more. And so I guess that's how I became a fan. I'm still a fan to this day.
So I had much more of a rockier road on my way to getting on the road again with 1D. Only puns for hardcore fans. I remember in middle school, like there were these gals, you know, they were like, One Direction, One Direction. They got the notebooks, the folders, you know, the little things, the screensaver of Harry Styles on their phone. And I had like two friends specifically who were like into them. And I was honestly a big shitter. I heard What Makes You Beautiful and I was like, this isn't good. What's going on? Again, it felt very teeny bopper and very tween. I was like, why are they dressed like this? Like, I don't really get it. And I honestly think what wasn't crossing for me was like the British part, that they were like from England. Fast forward, after I was done poo-pooing on One Direction, I totally forgotten about them. And my cousin, she says, Jenna, like, I just watched the This Is Us movie in theaters and you have to see it. Like, I'm obsessed. And I said, what? Like, what are you talking about? And she said, the One Direction movie, it's like so good. And I said, I mean, I don't know. So then I went to go listen to their second album and that kind of banged. It's like kind of reminded me of like the Disney Channel rock. Like it is like kind of like, even in the movie, they say it's a bit edgy, you know, and it kind of is. Like they're not being explicit, but like they're talking about, you know, more adult themes, I guess. And then I watched the movie and I was like, wait a second. And then, you know, you go down that YouTube rabbit hole and all of a sudden you have a favorite, you're in love, and you're like, when is the tour coming? When is the album coming? Like, where are they right now? And it's like, the thing is, when you join the One Direction world, you're not just listening to their music, you're like watching their Twitter, watching their Instagram, like, where are they? Following update accounts. It kind of takes over your life. But yeah, now I'm a huge fan.
I wanted to jump on when you're saying, like, you go down the YouTube rabbit hole. YouTube is like, I think that is like the way a lot of people just, you know, were stuck. Mm-hmm. And it's because you learn so much about them. And then they were making like their little videos like together. And it's like, then you're like, oh my God, these are real people. And like, oh, I can see myself like really like falling in love with them and everything. Like, I'm telling you, my sister is 11 years older than me. So we're very far in age, but we both were like into this, like just like watching them and stuff. And like, seeing their like auditions on YouTube were just like, oh my gosh, you know? And like just like watching the rest of the journey, and then like you see what they come out to be.
Same thing with my sister, actually. So my sister's not that much older than me. Like I said, I would watch those like fun facts about like One Direction videos, and it got to the point where it would become like a competition between us. So like we'd watch like a new video, and I'd be like, I knew that, I knew that, I knew that, and she would be like, I know that too, and I was like, yeah, but I knew it first. And so it just became like a thing. And so like we'd sit together in like my bed, and we'd just like go and be like, oh, let's like rewatch this video diary, or let's rewatch this interview. And it was just a little sad, but like one of the best days of my life, you know? So I don't regret it.
So let's really talk about their music.
It's really hard for me to find some that I really don't like. So like it's harder because like I really feel like I don't know if I programmed my brain to be like vibe with them all, or you know. But like
If you're a true fan, you must vibe with all.
I feel like I used to do that. Like I feel like I was, I don't know, like being disrespectful to them if I didn't like something. So like I used to be like, you better love them, all of them.
No, I feel you with that. I think I was the same way, but like there were always songs that I was like, ugh. But like I felt like I had to listen to them. So I get you.
Yeah. Like I always felt bad. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no.
They're gonna know.
Yeah, I'm like, am I their fan if I don't like one of their songs? Like, like back then, it's like being in like a fandom and like young like that. I just felt like that was almost like my job. Like, it is my career to like One Direction. Like, this is what I do for a living. So that means I must like their albums. I must love their songs. But, you know, as we get older, obviously, like you can love an artist and not like a song. But yeah.
I think that's why One Direction is so successful, and why like basically bands with mostly like women fan bases is that we're dedicated, and I mean hard. Like we go to bat for these guys like all day, every day. I'm listening to your song on the bus. I'm listening to your song on the way home. I am buying your merch. I'm buying your concert tickets. I'm going to watch your YouTube music video premiere like over and over and over again so you can get the hits. And that's why so many of these bands, rock bands and boy bands included, got big, is because they had younger female fan bases.
I remember, like, Jenna, when you brought up the movie, I remember when they were like getting into like the science or whatever behind fan base. And like, I remember seeing that and being like, I'm not crazy. Like, there's science behind it. Like, it's connected to my heart and my brain, and it tells me, like, it elevates it. Whatever they were saying in that movie. I just remember sitting in the theater watching it like, yup.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm supposed to do this, and I will continue. Like, but it made me feel good.
I think another big reason why like they haven't received recognition is because the fans were perceived as like crazy, when really they're just really passionate about the band. And yeah, I just think it kind of has played into the whole problem of them not being like recognized at all.
To jump off of that, I watched a Beatles documentary a little while ago, and the fans were just the same, you know, if not, no, they were just the same. The only difference is the times, you know, like the technology that we have now, everything that we do, like finding out their location through like technology, like all of that stuff. Like, and like maybe like the camping out and stuff like that. But the Beatles fans were just the same. Mm-hmm. And that's when people were discovering, oh, this is a thing where people are like outside, you know, probably with Elvis too, but like
the Stones.
Yeah, like it's a thing. So when I always like would hear people saying something about like One Direction fans being crazy and everything else, I'm like, is this not normal? Like, I know that like One Direction was different because of how like us as fans acted, but having fans like that wasn't anything like completely new, and like dedicated fans and stuff like that. So the crazy thing and like, oh, doing too much and whatever. I'm like, the Beatles fans were just as crazy, screaming, crying, fainting. Like they do it with Michael Jackson. Like it's just the only difference is, generational and like the technology that we have now
Exactly.
and that we had then.
I also think that with the Beatles, it was mostly like women, like at the beginning of their career. And like, I don't know what happened. I think probably like the change in music and like their vibe. I feel like that's what got the Beatles to be taken more seriously because it wasn't just like a female fandom. But for One Direction, like they did kind of get stuck with like just female fans, which is like nothing wrong, obviously. But to like the male music industry, it's kind of like, oh, like they're only liked because they're pretty, because they have a pretty face, not because of their music.
Again, if people who were hating on One Direction, like they want to actually see what One Direction is all about and go back into it with an open mind, like I think their last 2 albums like also show a very mature side to their music. And like that's when many of the boys in the band like started to write and started to play, and you can kind of see more what they're about instead of just singing songs that were written for them. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because people in pop music do that all the time. Of course, there's like so many preconceived notions out there about this band. Like, my God, like there are people that just hated them for no reason. There are people who can't even name a single song or haven't tried listening to the album and have all these opinions about them. But if you wanted to dive in, I think the best place to start is actually Midnight Memories. I feel like when people listen to One Direction and they're trying to like get into them again, like you just kind of have to let go of all the boy band shit. Like just give them a chance and actually like listen to the song and like let it be like any regular pop song you would hear on the radio. Go in with an open mind and let go of all your shit with they're a boy band. Their fans are only women. How can they be good? Because that's a problem, okay? Just give them a chance. I was re-listening to One Direction's whole discography, and what I noticed is that Zayn is actually carrying like the bulk of the work. He is carrying the band on his back for sure. And as much as I love everybody else and their vocal abilities, like he's what makes the songs better than they would be like without him. Like so much better. Like the notes he can hit.
I also agree. I always thought that, but it was him and Harry. Like Zayn always is the one that like elevates it. And like when you have the bridge of the song, he's always the one to like bring it up, hit those notes, like you said. Harry started doing that eventually. And then I was like, okay, like you could bring it too. All right, let's do it. There's one song, I can't remember which one it is, where they both actually had a chance to do that in the song. I don't see the rest of them really doing that the same, but Zayn especially.
Yeah, see, I always felt like when I would watch back on like their X Factor days, Liam always seemed like the one that was carrying the band. I guess when it came to like their albums and like their earlier albums, I always thought like the main people were like Liam, Harry, and Zayn. But like I've always felt like Liam was also part of like the main, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was younger, that's how I saw it. But I haven't really thought about it now.
I think Niall came into his own the last 2 albums. Like I thought his voice actually got so much better.
Yeah. And then he started adding him like playing and like writing more too. So I think Niall got more comfortable and was like, oh, like I can do this music thing like myself as well. Honestly, I think One Direction was like my last stadium like type of tour that I've ever gone to. Because I'm pretty sure like growing up, I just did like concerts, but One Direction were the artists that I would spend the money on, that I would beg my mom for that. if we're going to get some tickets that expensive, it's going to be them, you know? It's going to matter. It's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of my life.
I remember there was one day that I told my mom I was sick just so that I could stay home and get tickets for the concert. And then I conveniently called her at like 8 a.m. being like, I got tickets. Can I buy them?
Also, thanks to the parents for dealing with the like emotional turmoil of like daily things, but also like the day that Zayn left, like we were broken up, you know.
Gonna have to drink to that one.
Dude, I remember I was in Ecuador. With my cousins, and we were at the beach, and I didn't really have, there was no Wi-Fi at the beach house at the time. And so I had to use like my own like data that my mom was like, only use it if you really need to use it. And I was like, okay. And so that day I decided to use it. And then I see Zayn left, and I was like, I shook my cousin. I was like, Madison! And then I was like,
It sounds like a natural disaster is happening, and it's just Zayn leaving One Direction. Madison!
dude, I woke her up, and we were like, we're not going to the beach today. We were like, we're dressing in all black, and we're listening to One Direction for the entire day. Like, no one talked to us. We're not in it today. And so we sat in like my grandma's room listening to One Direction. And then when it got night out, we went outside and like laid on the floor and like looked at the moon and like listened to One Direction. And it was a really sad day.
I wish that there was like, I was like in a TV show, or like really for all of us, I wish it was like a reality show so we could watch back how we were with like One Direction. And then with like the letter saying that they're taking some time off, with that coming out, I was like, what the does that mean? I sat there like, I don't know what hiatus means. Explain it. I don't get it. I was like, why would you do this? It's like, I understand they were, you know, getting older and like life happens, but you can die from a broken heart. And I'm just glad that I stayed alive because I was hurt. I wish I could watch myself because I know it was probably crazy. I wish I could see you, Gabby, laying on the ground like that.
Laying on the ground, it was like so uncomfortable. And we were both just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, what's gonna happen now?
Did y'all cry?
Yes. We both cried. We laid on the floor looking at the stars and at the moon. And my aunt at one point was like, you guys gotta get up. Like, come on.
And like, no.
I was like, I don't know if I can survive this.
No, I remember being in school and then the news came out and it was all of a sudden like, stop the presses. Like, everybody get away from me. I gotta go. And I found like my best friend at the time and I think I cried like while hugging her. And she was a One Direction fan too, but she was kind of like over it, but she understood me and like that was cool. And then I just remember going onto Twitter and it was like the saddest but funniest thing in the world. Like I was like, oh, okay, I'm not like alone here. And then I remember coming home and like my mom was like, Jenna, like he's just leaving, like he's not dead.
I'm glad I wasn't in school when it happened.
So one thing that was obvious to me about being a fan of One Direction was that they never got nominated for any awards, like despite how popular they were. Like they got like the British ones, but they never got nominated for a Grammy at all. And I thought their music was pretty good, so I was confused. And like I've seen people who I think have even shittier music get nominated, so what's going on here? And like, what a lot of people don't understand is that, like, how big One Direction was. And I say they're bigger than the Beatles because they were at some point. Like, they beat some of the Beatles records, and they had one of the highest grossing tours, I think, in either 2014 or 2015. It was the Where We Are tour. So here is just a few things for all you haters out there wondering why in the talking about One Direction so much, because this is what we did for them, but also what they did for us, you know? So the IFPI named One Direction the Global Recording Artist of 2013, which is when Midnight Memories came out. And then they were the first group on the US Billboard chart history to debut at #1 with their first 3 albums. We did that. They did that. They're big as hell, okay? And then they beat the Beatles record of 3 of the members of One Direction going solo, and they've had 3 of their members have #1 solo albums. So the Beatles didn't do that. One Direction also beat the Beatles record when their 2015 single Perfect became their 5th consecutive new entry in the US top 10. So there's no doubt that the One Direction was huge. They had huge stadium tours. They had chart success, yet they never got nominated for a Grammy, not even once. So I just think it's insane. And I think, again, it plays into how, like, sexism has played such a big role in them not being recognized for anything while their career was active. And it's honestly hasn't even been until recently where I've seen more positive spin articles towards 1D. Like, I think it's because more younger writers were coming up who were fans of them or, like, appreciated them for what they were, are now writing articles. And maybe more women are being given chances to write articles. But then there are still some women who don't have their facts right. Like, we had this, like, guest lecturer once, and she was talking about BTS and how great they were, and this woman said, like, One Direction didn't even write any of their songs. They didn't even know how to play instruments. And the 3 of us were all like, and I know there were some other people in our class who were also like, hold up. But the 3 of us were like, oh, are you kidding me? Because it's always been so upsetting when I just hear people shit on them without knowing their facts. Because they actually did do so much good. They made a lot of good music. And the fact that people don't look into that at all and they just make these easy digs at them is still upsetting. That it was happening, like, literally in the last year.
Can we just say you to her? I hate people that don't do their research.
No,
we're going to
true.
come and talk to a class, teach us, and say something that's wrong. And then not even say, oh, I'm not sure. At least say that if you don't know. How could you say it so confidently and you are so wrong about it? Unless you were there in the mother room, you don't know. What made me extra angry about that, being the Niall girl as I am, if you want to say that One Direction didn't write their music because you don't believe it, okay, fine. Like, you need, I don't know, maybe you need some extra proof. I don't know. But Niall would play during the tour. Mm-hmm. Like, that is recorded. It is seen. You could see it with your own eyes. So that just means you didn't do your own research, or maybe you're not knowledgeable upon the topic. Honestly, you should say that you don't know. Then not say something, especially like you're teaching these students or you're coming in as a guest and saying that. I just really did not appreciate that at all. Like, we have a opinion-based podcast. So a lot of this is opinions. We do say certain factual evidence behind things, but the way she was saying it was like as a fact, and it's not a fact. It's actually a lie. So it was disrespectful to me and to my homegirls, to my directioners out there. I wish there was a bunch of us during that Zoom class.
We all raise our hand.
Yeah.
At once. We all off mute. Hey!
Jumping off of what Jenna said, though, about how, like, now people are being, like, saying positive things about One Direction. I feel like what also has to do with that is that like now Harry Styles is popular, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And with his second album, like he's been getting more attention from like not just, you know, us like females, but like from men, which I guess makes it a more valuable opinion, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what's kind of making people be like, oh, well, like maybe One Direction isn't that bad just because, you know, Harry Styles is a good musician. And like, yeah, he is. But he was a good musician in One Direction, and One Direction was a good band. Like, they weren't just popular for no reason. Like, what do you think happened? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, to be completely honest.
Why would we just listen to people because of they're hot? I'm not hearing any of the hotness when I'm listening.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, maybe, but like, maybe like a little bit. But like, still, it's like, it's not really what it was about at the end of the day. It was about their music's really fun to listen to, and they're just kind of fun people.
I mean, it was kind of the same thing with like Justin Bieber, you know? I wasn't a huge fan of Justin Bieber growing up. Like I liked his first album. It was good. But like after that, like I didn't really care for him. And like he kind of went through like the same thing, I guess, of like just only having like female fans. And like that was also unfair because he is talented. And so it's kind of just the same thing. And I don't know, maybe it's because he like fights for it so much. I don't know if it's because he's like a more popular figure, but like he's nominated for Grammys now. But I don't know why, you know?
It's probably the fact that he's not a boy band and it's people's like stigma against boy bands. Because I get it, but One Direction would always say, and they would do the work to not be that type of generic or boy band that we knew, same outfits, same dances. Like they would even say that they didn't want to do that stuff. And there was a reason that they didn't. Because they didn't want you to make that boy band stereotype that that's who they were. They were their own type of band, and they were. Were they a boy band? Yes. But they were One Direction at the end of the day. So it really is just, I would say, annoying. It's annoying because I know that we were just like these young girls who were highly obsessed, but I'm older now. And do I still say, yes, whatever, Niall, marry him, you know, whatever. But like, I still listen to their music and think it's good because their music is good. And I still have like that same opinion of like liking their music. So there's a reason for it. And they just weren't acknowledged for that.
I think if anything, they should have been nominated for like pop performance of like the year. Fine. If you don't want to nominate them for like album of the year, record of the year, or anything.
No, that's fair.
Pop performance, you know?
Or even like I would have taken a best new artist, you know, when they were first starting out, because you see people in that category that aren't technically great. They're just, but they've gotten traction. And if that's recognized, then how can their records not be recognized? Let's break into our segment today, which is concert memories. And today we're theming it to be One Direction concert memories.
So mine's actually like a before concert memory.
It's basically a concert day, you know?
Yeah.
Literally.
So this was the day before the concert, I believe. And One Direction was in Miami. Right. And so I found out what hotel they were staying at. Right. To my sister, I was like, Gloria, we're going. Because we were members of the club like next to that building. So like it was like the same beach area. Right. So we're like, let's go to the beach. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like we're members. We're not doing anything wrong here. Right. So we go and like they had like extra security that day. They like made sure to like ask us for like our ID numbers and everything. And we were like, okay, like we're not lying. So here. So we go, we get into the beach area and then we walk into the hotel just to like see what would happen. And then a security man comes up to us and he's like, are you guys guests here? And we're like, no, we're just looking for a friend. He was like, what friend are you looking for? And we were like, a friend. And then he was like, you guys got to get out of this area, whatever. So whatever, we left. And then we saw Lou and Lux in the pool So like that was like the highlight of the day, I guess. But then we ran into these other girls who were obviously looking for them. She was like talking to my sister and she was like, hey, like give me your number. So like if like we like get closer to seeing them, like I'll text you and like you guys can come, whatever. And so we were like, oh, like, thank you. So we like ended up spending our day at the beach. We had pizza, whatever. It was a fun day. We got super burnt. And then we got a text from this girl being like, oh, Harry and Niall are at Monty's. And we were like, Monty's? Which is like a bar, restaurant, like on the water type of place. And so we were like, Monty's? We were like, we live in front of Monty's. And so she's like, oh, well, they already left. And so she sent a picture of her and Harry literally 2 minutes from my house. And I was like, I hate this girl. I hate her. Like, she couldn't have texted us like 20 minutes before. And so Gloria and I have yet to forgive her. I know exactly what she was wearing in that picture because it ruined my life. And you know what? I don't wish bad upon anyone, but maybe her, just like a bad day or something. And then the next day was the concert and it was super fun, whatever. And yeah, that was it.
I'm telling you, the stalking or whatever is just such a losing game. It is rough out there.
So rough.
And when you miss it, it's like,
I was so
hurts.
Whoa.
It's better to just not even try.
So sorry, Gabby. Like, that hurts my heart. I would have fought her.
No. Oh, but then we did meet 5 Seconds of Summer, which kind of made up for it.
Ooh.
But, like, not really. Like, I wanted to meet Harry Styles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. I got a picture with Luke and Callum, so I guess that's fine.
Wait, like, why haven't I seen this?
Oh, because I look awful in it. I don't show that picture to anyone.
Oh, Gabby, share your screen now.
No.
I
don't know if I have
it.
I'd have to ask my sister for it. I don't even think I have it on my phone.
All right, well, I'll go while Gabby looks for her now infamous picture. I need to see this. So I just want to talk about my first 1D concert experience. I flew down to San Antonio for this concert because that's where my cousin lives. And I mean, when I say I was excited, I was really excited. Okay, looking forward to this thing for months and months and months. It was a stadium tour, so didn't really know what I was getting into, but I had great seats at the end of the catwalk because I wouldn't accept anything less. Because I was needy as hell, I guess, at that age. And One Direction will do that to you. I had never seen so many people in my life, and so many people were, like, on this one staircase trying to get in. I was just like, this is a lot. I think I just learned a lot at this concert. I was screaming my head off, trying to get their attention, like screaming their names, and I realized later, like, wow, you must sound like a really, really, really dumb person because they can't hear shit over everybody else screaming, and it's like, what were you thinking? And then we didn't have water, again, so dumb. That was the first time I realized how big of a mistake that was. Like, I need water at every single concert, just in case. But I guess the whole night was amazing. One of the best concerts ever. But the one funny thing I did was I thought I should write a note to the boys and say how much they mean to me. So I saw Liam's bodyguard. I handed him the letter and he said, I'll give it to them. But I bet it's lost. I bet it went through the wash. And honestly, I'd be even happier that they didn't get it because it was probably a mess of a letter, for sure. So, Shalise, what's your story?
I am going to talk about Where We Are tour. I saw them at MetLife. Within that tour, it was known that Niall does this, like, crotch grab during Better Than Words. And as a Niall girl, that's what I needed to see. I needed to see the hand go down. Is that not crazy, being young and being like, that's what I need to see? I always remembered people, like, posting the videos of it from, like, their shows from their cities. And I was like, I'm gonna get that video. And I sure did. I got the video and I loved it because I was like, I just felt like I was accomplished. And it was amazing. As a Nile girl, I was screaming. Every tour just makes you feel alive. But during that one, I just was like, wow, like I'm here. And I remember like waiting for them to come out and they were like playing different songs. And I remember looking around and like watching like all the other fans like singing to these songs and even parents because they played the Friends theme song. And I remember like so many people like singing along and dancing to it. We were all like so excited for these same people, you know, to come out. And that feeling is so crazy because it's like you do all the work to get the tickets, to make your outfit for the show. You do all the work of like thinking about, okay, if he comes out of this exit, I'm going to make sure I'm right there and everything. And it's like just being in that moment and like during their slow songs, you get the flashlight of your phone and to look around yourself. Like those feelings are insane. Mm-hmm. And like, I hope that my kids are like that with music. Because I know there's some people that don't like have that type of concert experience with like stadium tours of like the artists that they like. It's such a different feeling to have so many people that feel just as crazy as you do about these people that are just standing on these stage, these human beings, like just up there singing and looking like at all these people. And I know it has to be crazy for every artist that has done that too. But yes, Jenna, screaming their names, knowing they can't hear you. And I think I said it before in another episode. I used to sing stuff, and I still do it now in concerts. I sing so loud because I want them to bring me up on stage. I want them to hand me the mic. Like I'm trying to be viral. Hand me the mic so I can sing, and you can be like, "Oh my gosh, wow, get her up here." That's what I wanted. I'm like, maybe if I just echo my voice enough, they'll hear it.
I haven't really had an experience like that since 5 Seconds of Summer or One Direction, just like having every single person in the stadium or an arena being so into the artist. And like even Harry Styles' concert, it wasn't exactly the same. Like One Direction and 5 Seconds of Summer, the fan bases were so just excited to be there. And then I've been to like a Coldplay and Beyonce show in a stadium, and there's like all these like drunk adults around me like talking over the song, and I'm like, I'm trying to hear this shit. I paid money to be here, and it's like you're like doing your shtick over there, and I'm like, I'm just trying to enjoy the show and watch Chris Martin rock it, okay? And it's just like it's never gonna be the same as all of us being there, and it's really upsetting. So the reunion thing, let's get on it. Can I fast forward 10 to 20 years to when they're willing to do that?
I just wish that they were willing to do it now when I still could convince my mom to help me out with paying for it. And I don't have kids that I need to pay for or like a wedding or something. Like, I just wish they would do it now. Now, like if Corona wasn't a thing, now would be the perfect time. You know, it would come as a surprise, our senior year of college. It's like, this would be the perfect feeling, you know? That's what I need. Even after Corona, if they were like, once concerts came back to like a regular thing, if that's when they decided, I'd be like, yep, that's what I need. I'd forget completely about Corona. What was that? You know, like it would just be like One Direction reunion tour.
The fact that we didn't get a second 1D day, like now I'm upset.
Well, first of all, I couldn't find the picture, so I'm going to have to ask my mom to send it to me. 'Cause it's on my wall. It's on my wall in my room. So if my mom doesn't send it to me, I'll take a picture and send it to everyone. But I agree. I think the only concert that I've been to that was almost kind of maybe the same, like...
Aaron Carter?
No. I was going to say Camila Cabello.
Okay.
It was kind of the same thing, but I don't know. Like, I was excited, but like nowhere near as excited as I was for like One Direction.
All right, guys. So let's just close out this episode with how do we feel about them now? Like, about the band itself, but also, like, how do we feel about them as solo artists?
I don't want to get disrespectful.
Oh.
But obviously, we all know that everyone loves Harry now. It's not like he's mainstream and like whatever. They love him because the music's good. Mm-hmm. And if they start to love him just because like he's become so popular, fine. He needs it. He deserves it because the music is good. Everything about Harry now, it seems like it's himself and it's everything, you know, he wants to be, and it's beautiful for him. Love him, love his music, love everything he's got going on. Same with Niall. Niall's doing his thing, and I actually hear Niall's song almost every day when I'm at work. So I appreciate it. Zayn. I wanted to bring up Pillow Talk before because I really loved that song.
Me too.
And I just remember when it came out, I was like, okay, like, Zayn, you're solo, that's fine. I like this. Like, this is good. But he's a dad. He's doing his thing. And I haven't listened to his most recent stuff because I know there's been quite a few things that he's like put out here and there. I know that I listened to one song, and like then there's stuff that's connected to the shirt that you're wearing, Gabby, and I don't really know it completely, but here and there, and like it hasn't been like really bad. Like we said before, one thing about Zayn is like vocally he's just been amazing. Liam and Louis. This is like the disrespectful part. I don't want to say they're doing nothing or like, you know, because they're doing stuff. One thing with Louis, I feel like both of them, I feel like they're just doing so much, kind of. And from what I've heard of Louis, I can't get behind. Liam, from what I heard, I can't get behind either. And then he's working with people that makes me mad. It basically makes me mad, and I just feel like, why? Like, why would he do that? You know? And I get it just seems like a cry for like attention back, you know? And it just makes me upset because I still follow them, you know, still like kind of like will notice stuff that they're doing and everything. So I feel like the fans will be there to like look at your stuff and all of that. And all you have to do is focus on doing that good stuff and not on kind of stay quote unquote relevant, because if your music is good, you'll end up being relevant no matter what. And like with Harry, I don't think he did too much in the sense of like how Liam's doing it, where he needs to get with certain TikTok people and work with them in order to do this or do that. Like Harry's music is just good. And I hate the route that Liam is on. You know, if they did a reunion tour, all of that would just go out of my head.
Same.
Yeah, 100%.
Liam, I don't need to hear your shit. Just bring back to 1D and we're good. We're good.
Yeah. I would just forget everything else. And it's like, I'm right back, like 20 whatever to 20 whatever. And I'm back there, middle school, high schooler, like midnight memories. That's it, you know? And then I'd feel good about it. So that's what they need to do. And that's it. That's how I feel.
I feel the same way. I do. Like with Harry, Niall, Zayn came out with his album like a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, I think. And I listened to like 3 songs and was like not very impressed. Maybe it's just not my vibe, but who knows. And then Liam, don't like it. If I can speak honestly, trash, just not good. And then Louis, I don't know. I don't vibe with his music either, but I also like just kind of feel bad for him to the point where like I don't even expect him to write music. Like I kind of just want to be like, just focus on yourself. Like just work on like yourself and like your family, and like don't even worry about like the rest of the fan base. Like just do you. Because like, I don't know, his family's been through so much. Like I almost like don't expect anything great out of him. And I know that sounds kind of sucky, but like I honestly like my fan head is just like, just worry about yourself. Like don't worry about us.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if I'm really qualified to speak on Louis, and I do love him. Like, I think he's a great guy. Obviously, every single guy in this band has had a fault or two. Nobody's perfect. But with Louis, like, for anybody who doesn't know the context, like, he lost his mother and his sister, like, in a span of, I think, less than 5 years. So it's not really I expect anything of him. Like, I want to listen to his music, but I really haven't gotten into it. But I think the distinction between Louis and Liam is that Liam is, like, selling out. And he could have done literally R&B, and he would have been great at it. And that's what I was waiting to see from Liam, because he does have a voice that I think would have been well suited for that genre. But Liam, instead, he went, like, the pop route, like, talking shit about 1D in the top 40, and I'm like, shut your mouth! You got here because of us, okay? And the music that you made, and you were the one writing it, so don't tell me that you didn't have any control. Like, sorry, Liam, but it just pissed me off, like, that one of my favorites for a time did that, like, to his own band. And what I have always respected about Harry and Niall is that they never talk shit. They only speak, like, good times. And it's okay if, like, some shit went wrong. Like, I feel like Zayn's explanation felt like he just wasn't into the band anymore, and I totally feel his vibes. But even he was not perfect in his exit of One Direction. But anyways, let me get back to the good vibes. So Zayn has had some good songs, okay? So, like, check out Mind of Mine. That album's good. Like I Would is such a bop. Even Icarus Falls? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Like, there's some good ones on there, too. I haven't listened to the new one, but Gabby has notified me. I will be on it in a minute, okay? And
I also did not listen to that one.
But the one thing I've appreciated about Zayn is actually he's really good at his aesthetics. And with each album, it does kind of, like, fall within a certain vibe. And I've just appreciated his artistry thus far. And then I would say the same with Harry. I think his songwriting has actually gotten better. And both of his albums were good. And then with Niall, I think he has room to grow for sure, but I love his music too. It's very perfect for, like, the summer. Love Niall. And it reminds me of his love for, like, the Eagles. And it just made me happy. It made me happy to see him, like, do his thing too. Because not a lot of people are really into music like that, but it's just been nice to see Niall like his own stuff and do his thing. We hope we convinced at least some of you to go back into the 1D catalog and give it an honest try. I know many people who have done it in the last 5 years, and they weren't disappointed. Just saying. What a Feeling, Stockholm Syndrome, and a personal favorite, Walking in the Wind. Give it a try. Come on. I know you like it. Jeff, if you're hearing this, give it a try. Give it a try. Join us next week when we talk about boy bands again. Just kidding. We wish. We'll actually be releasing an episode all about artist documentaries. We literally can't keep up anymore, and it needs to be discussed. And later next week, we're returning to the topic of groups, but girl groups, or girl bands to be exact, in our second bonus episode on the following Friday. Talk to you then, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at MMMLC Podcast for sneak peeks and updates on our upcoming episodes. And if you'd like to watch our podcast, you can find us on YouTube at Music Makes Me Lose Control Podcast. Till next time, Missy Elliott, call us. We want the mechanical license. Bye.
Bye. Bye.